hashtag. It's
Hey
hysterical.
everyone! Cut
Hey
Claire off
yo,
half sentence. That was cool.
that's okay.
Hi Claire, how are you?
I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good. It's been
Ah,
a long
don't mean to
day,
keep you
but it's been a
awake.
good day.
Don't
It's
mean
been
to
a
keep
good
you
day.
awake.
No,
Oh, it was.
oh no, I'm usually up till 3 or so anyway. Usually,
It was good.
I'm just not up as early as I was this morning. But
And Jen, how are
that
you?
was
Sorry.
I am just Ducky Poo. Good afternoon,
Ducky poo.
Australia.
Claire will be interested.
yeah, ducky poo.
Well, well, maybe it should be Platypus Poo.
Yeah, it's safer that way. Apparently, I'm duck obsessed or something. I don't know.
Claire Duck.
But
Claire Duckin.
yeah. Claire ducking. That thing is bizarre. You know what that is? That's like a duck
Yeah.
inside a chicken inside a turkey. It's like wrong. It's
You
wrong
could
on
go
so
all.
many
If we
levels.
still
I
had
don't.
them, you
Well,
could go all the way up to a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and you'd have a coronary if you tried to eat it all. So.
Oh my
A
god.
turducken was a joke that was it was made up on the spot by Dave Madden, who was a coach for the Kansas City Chiefs for forever, and he became a TV voice for football and stuff. And he made that up spontaneously one Thanksgiving weekend when there was a ball game on, and it was just a joke. It was just a joke, and it took off, and it has become part of the American language,
Mhm.
turducken, and
And
people
people make them.
have actually created turduckens and served them, and it's just like how bizarre,
And my
just one.
question is why? 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 Why do
Well,
Yeah,
people?
there
like
was
why did they do that?
it
Like
was it
that's
was a
insane.
discussion about the how much food people eat at Thanksgiving, and some people don't have turkey, some people have duck, and some people have ham, and so it got into that kind of thing. Is, well, why don't you just put them all together? Let's have a turducken,
Yeah.
Mm.
and it just, like I said, took off. It's really kind of
Yeah.
fun.
So from that word, then somebody decided to stick a duck up a chicken's ass and put the chicken in the turkey. Yuck.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
yuck. Oh god.
They also did this stunt. It's like they tried to get away from the turducken, but it didn't work. They had this a couple of years later push the concept of a turkey with 8 legs on each side, and actually made up a turkey and like sewed on extra legs, and then roasted it so that it was kind of all one piece. And
Yeah.
Oh
and that didn't
man.
take off either, but
Why? There
it
has
was
to be the big
impressively
question.
bizarre.
Why?
I don't want to sit down to dinner with the eight-legged anything. Like no, no. This
Although, I mean, there are
oh
people who eat spiders and scorpions, and you're eating an eight-legged anything then. So, not that
that
I think I would. I mean, from what I've heard, it's incredibly crunchy, and I think the texture would entirely put me off. Not so much the fact that it's a spider or I mean, it's like the same thing. You'd eat a leg of lamb, but if somebody shoved an entire sheep on the table in front of me, I couldn't cut that up and
nope,
eat it. So, and
no.
it's the same sort of thing when you're talking about eating insects. If you puree it and turn it into something else that I can eat, and I don't have to have that texture,
Hmm.
and I don't have to think about what it looked like before I started eating it, I'm probably going to be fine with it. Like I
Yeah,
honestly think we should farm insects for protein, but I'm not going to eat a plate full of cockroaches. But I'm not going to object if you're going to grow the cockroaches for the protein for us to eat.
Well, we should
I
also
did.
encourage swallowing with oral sex, because that's protein too.
Mm,
I always encourage swallowing with oral sex. It's like,
hmm.
if you dribble or spit, I think it's a kind of rude and disgusting. I mean,
It's kind of rude.
yeah, it
Hmm.
Well,
is.
that depends on how much comes out,
Well, dribbling is disgusting, but I mean, of course, if you're dribbling, it's probably just that you're full. So, I mean,
It's just not a good look.
it's not.
Yeah,
It's
it's just not.
really not.
It's not a
Although,
good look.
having said that, there are guys out there who like to come on your face, and I mean, that's dribble all over the face, isn't it? So,
Yeah, no,
no thanks.
that's gross. That's just too
But,
weird.
I mean, to everybody, to each his own. I guess if that's a thing. But, gargling.
I
Oh,
smacked a guy once after sex because he decided that wiping his cock in my hair was a good idea.
no. I don't know. I'm not a prude, but
No,
there is a
but
matter of
that's-
respect that I expect. You
Yeah,
know,
I
it's
mean,
like,
exactly. It's like,
yeah.
no,
But I'm not a
you're not
prude. I
doing
mean,
that.
there's plenty of different things, but I would find that a little distasteful, a little
Yeah, it is.
disrespectful.
So,
But mm.
shall we say hi to the chat? Because, hi,
Oh, hi,
Nikki, Miss
chat.
Cassandra,
Hi,
Jeff, and Purple are all in
I've
there.
been in
So,
there.
hey guys.
Go-
I'm
Godless wants
obviously,
to know about gargling. What about gargling? Like, what do we think about gargling?
as long as you swallow afterwards.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, what are you
I have
gargling
not
with?
gargled. I don't know. I don't know.
I
With a
have.
little bit
Odd.
of the gargle?
I have not had to goggle. No. It's no. Mm. Mm. I'm thinking now though, damn you, Jeff. Now they got this in my head. Like I'm thinking, well, why haven't I goggled? Like, what's going on here?
Which Jeff is out there?
I had a guy out once
godless,
ask if it was possible,
godless scummer.
so we
Summer, hi,
tested.
Jeff, honey.
So yes, I have. It's weird. Hi, Doc. So
Right,
as,
hi,
as
Doc.
everyone in the chat can see, we are actually hanging out with our tits out. I have also sent a link in one of the groups if people want to hop in, so that's fine. You don't necessarily have to have your tits out.
Yes, you do. Yes, she did. She made me take. She knew it was after midnight, and I had all my clothes off, sitting on my bed. She said, "Avatar or not, tits out.
True. Yeah,
They're out."
But you can be an avatar and have your tits out behind the avatar. And if you're
That's
a guy,
true.
having your tits out is pretty easy if you're a guy. So if somebody wants to hop in,
I don't know about you, Jen, but I like man tits for sure. There's something about their little pecs that I do.
Oh look, it's Matt.
I'll be sure. You could,
Hey Matt.
You're gonna have just my little logo there.
Mm.
Video editing in the background. So
Yeah, I don't see any tits on it though.
Well, I don't.
if you gave me a pencil enough time, I could draw something.
Matthew, hello, darling. Are you? Is your shirt off behind that avatar? Please tell me that.
It can be. Isn't that the
Please.
point of the avatar?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is.
you could
the
stay
point of
behind the avatar, but that would be hot, Matthew. I could just sit here and try to picture what your pecs look like. That would be all right. It'd be entertaining for me for a little while.
Matthew, are you buff?
Not really.
No.
You've seen Matthew.
Not
Yeah.
naked.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
I
can't stay
won't-
too long, Jen, because I've also got to go do family duties for the barbecue. But
Okay.
got
How's the
cooking
video
to do.
going?
I am nearly done with the video in the background. So
Yay!
Were you happy with what I sent? The other bit I sent you that you asked for?
Yep.
That
So
you had
I've
found
got
a little bit
those.
in that. It was real. You asked me for a little clip to play, and it was really hard to find a little clip from my old video where I'm not either talking about sex or I'm swearing at someone.
Remember, I did say that the audio didn't matter.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, that would have been much easier.
Mm.
So yeah, I just needed
you're
a clip
right
of
on
you talking,
track.
so when I mention you and your channel, I can put up the kind of a silent clip in the corner of you
That's
actually
fine.
talking.
You've got a clip anyway. It's fine.
Mhm.
It's fine. It would have been just much easier had I noticed that.
What's the video topic?
Oh, this is for Matt. Matt wants to put a little clip of each person who helped contribute to his aliens video.
I see.
So,
Mm.
and he said, "I just
Or
5
I've got a
seconds of
picture
you
of
talking from one of your videos,
this.
and I missed the bit under it that said I'm not using the audio, so I went looking for something appropriate to Matt's channel, and it was really really hard to do because, like I said, most of my old videos are takedown videos, and every 5th or 6th word is an explanative about how dumb the person is I was talking about, or it's me talking about sex, which neither are appropriate for Matt's channel." Which tells you a lot about my old
And
content.
family friendly.
And I'm not sure that the new content's any better now.
Oh, okay.
The hangout with your tits out. Oh, okay, Nikki. Yep.
So you're right on track, Matthew. It should be soon then, right? You should be ready to release your
Should
video.
be. I am waiting for things Randolph and Kitty though, so I'm hoping those come in soon. And as I said, I've also got some family things to do. Not a huge rush for that.
Cool.
And then I need to show someone the actual video run through, probably get a family member or one of my mates, just because I like a last minute check in case I've missed things. So I'll know I've got everything first time round.
That's usually a good idea because
Oh,
when
well.
you're working on something so long, you're just so used to seeing it and hearing it, and they can pick up little things. I usually run something by somebody too before I upload it. It helps with the confidence level
Unless
too.
you're getting help with the avatars, in which case you're the one who it's getting run by.
Hey,
Heyo.
Nikki. How you go?
Hi, Nikki.
Been a minute.
Hey, Nikki.
It's been a minute.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen you for a bit, Nikki. How you doing?
I've been dealing with bullshit, so.
Don't we all deal
you
with
are-
bullshit all the time?
Are you taking off your top?
Can Nikki
I
take
will
off her
neither
top?
confirm nor deny, and no, it won't be on camera.
Oh.
But I do have an erect spaceship on there for you, so.
Yeah, it does look like a direct space.
I see that. Clever.
Well, the game I'm playing, EVE Online, if I'm on any type of broadcast media, depending on what I'm on and how many views it may or may not get, I have to cover certain things up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, technically for YouTube, we have to cover certain things up, as I discovered.
Well,
But
you
it's
don't.
fine
You
when you're older, like myself and Jenny. You can do streams like this with your tits out because your tits are sagging enough that they reach below the level of the.
I'm not going to say anything.
It's funny because they won't let you show your nipples, but they don't care about the naked avatars with
No,
the
they
nipples
don't.
and everything.
I mean, I actually used
No,
it for the
I have
thumbnail
a
for the
whole
stream.
intro. They are slitted and nippled and everything, and they don't care. They don't care.
I
I shouldn't
I've
say
gotta
that too
say,
loud. I might
I
lose my
fucking
channel.
love this avatar. I wish I was as thin as my avatar.
Who
It's
does
gorgeous.
it?
Your avatar is so hot. Like I
It is,
can't wait to
it
do a new thumbnail with that avatar.
I love it.
This is
So,
well placed.
they are
flowers.
the problem with the ones at the top literally look like you've painted petals around nipples.
And why not? I mean, it's pretty cool.
I
Well,
suppose
that's
I
what
could
it-
do that for a stream at some point. No, they still wouldn't let me do it because YouTube. Although it's
What if-
about
what if you-
the whole thing of
if
taking it down is you're not allowed to simulate sex on a YouTube video, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. So you would not be allowed to show that I'll have what she's having seen from breakfast. This was breakfast at Tiffany's, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh no!
No,
When
it's
Harry
not.
met Sally,
When Harry met Sally, yeah, you couldn't show that scene.
so we're
'cause
not
that's
allowed to get
simulation.
up there and fake orgasms. Guess
No,
what we're gonna
so
do
I'm
tomorrow
gonna lose
night, then?
another. I'm going to lose another video at some point because I do that. I do that exact same thing in another video, but I'm not naked when I do it.
Let's
And I'm
test that theory tomorrow night. This just
Test it now.
Oh my god! Everybody, turn on your equipment. No.
Right, I want everybody
Oh, God.
in the chat to simulate having an orgasm in the chat, just so that we can play with the YouTube algorithm.
No. Oh, you expect them to type that out? Like,
Yeah, I do. I expect them
okay.
to type it.
I don't know.
Ooh,
That's dedication. Oh god.
we need an
This
emoji
is
for it.
where-
That's what we need.
Oh,
This is
you
where-
are dangerous when you're bored. Nobody sent me a warning. Nobody gave me a disclaimer that
This
when
is
you're
where I
bored,
need to, this is where I need to get my own soundboard and start clipping shit.
Yeah. Well, YouTube will help you now. It has those little scissors, like when you put it up. If you
Took 'em
allow
long
clipping,
enough.
Yep, boom, boom, and you can just clip away as you go.
That would have been useful 4 to 5 months ago.
Yeah.
That's always the case with most of the new shit that they add is that, oh, I wish I'd had that.
Well, I mean, there's been certain things that I've needed to document because of certain dumb shits. And
Ew.
instead of having to record it or screen record it or OBS record it or flat out just download the damn video, it's so much easier and so much more convenient to just clip the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Twitch has had that for a minute, but I think it's mostly been a moderator thing. But
Oh, the moderators can do that? They can do that clipping?
in Twitch, yeah.
Oh wow.
I am just tired of living in a world that is so hung up about sex. It's ridiculous. We allow, violence and just grotesque horror, human horrors on TV or in the media, but sex is just this horrible bad thing that nobody can mention, talk about. Words are censored, actions are censored, visuals are censored. It's just it's just so stupid. It's so juvenile. When is this earth ever going to grow up?
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I agree.
I hear you.
Hi, Purple.
teach
we'll have to
the
get
children.
Jeannie to make you a naked avatar now.
Teach the children about limitations and what is appropriate, what's not appropriate in their behavior, and how they respect and treat other people. And sex will not be the dangerous, horrible thing that they think it is. And if they want to take the religious approach, well, fine. Then live your life that way. But don't expect the rest of the world to retard itself back into your small little cave of reality. Oh well. That's all I have to say.
No. I'm 100% behind all of that. Like I said, I came in here just saying like, sexual anarchy is trending on Twitter right now because some Republican decided that the Democrats in the United States are trying to turn us all into sex fiends or something. I don't know. But it's a very funny thread. It's not going the way they thought. It really
Americans
isn't.
are
Just a
already
hilarious
Hey, hold
concept.
up. Just a heads up.
Yep.
I may have to disappear
That's a clever trick.
randomly. I will still be on here, but I will not be talking because I will be doing something else because a nemesis of mine on my game has decided to start streaming. So I'm waiting to see if he comes into my area and I am going to wreck his world.
That almost
in the
sounded
video
sexual.
game, you mean? Are you gonna blow him up or something?
Oh yes.
Are we? Should we start like getting like bail money together for you or what? Like,
Oh, no.
how far does this go, Nikki?
How far does it go? We're gonna blow him up. He's gonna whine, bitch, and complain about it, and then go try to do it again.
But that will cost him an awful lot of credits.
Yes, it will. But he's using his mommy's credit card, so it don't matter.
Oh, so he's using real money to pay for the credits in the game.
Well, so do I, but I don't lose ships as fast as he does.
Because you don't have to do
that's
that.
definitely where I draw the line.
Eve, it's Eve,
I
isn't it?
am not spending real money for things that only exist in a virtual world.
Oh no, I don't have to. I don't have to. I choose to. There's a difference.
Most of those games you don't have to. I mean, most games you end up spending real money for things in a virtual world. I mean, it's either on things that you pay for as you're playing the game because the game is free, but if you want some extra things or whatever, you can pay for it with real money. Or you have to buy the game outright in the first place. And some of them have both, which is even more annoying. You have to buy the game and then you have to spend more money on the game.
Yeah, that's like paying for cable and then having to watch commercials.
Yeah, it really is. I find it really disgusting, actually. But yeah.
Or you just don't play video games.
I have a revolutionary announcement in this respect.
Oh, go for it.
On Sunday, I suspect I'm going to become the oldest person on Earth to ever begin to play D&D for the first time in their life.
Oh, wow. Oh, you'll enjoy it. It's fun.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. Catnip and I got together and created my character, and did all the rolling of the dice and determining features and strengths and all that crap. So
Well,
So
role-playing-
does your character have big bazongas? I have to ask.
in my
It's a tits out
character,
episode, so
absolutely. Yeah, she's a fairy, but a 5'7" fairy. I didn't want any of this 6" stuff.
Role-playing can be a lot of fun, or it can royally suck, depending on your game master.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. The game is made or broken by the DM. How good they are at their job.
The thing that I hate most of all is, especially the game master, but if anyone in the group is bringing in grudges from things that happen to the real world into the game.
Ah.
I've just played with too many people who tried to use the game to take out their petty bullshit on each other.
I don't know what that means. I guess I'll have to play for a while and find out.
Yep. Well, I see Belinda is there. She
Yeah.
says it's really hot. Is it really hot by you too, Jen? Because she says it's really hot by her. She's not too far from you, I don't think.
Where's Belinda?
I mean, it's
She's in
warm
the
where
chat.
I am.
Yeah, no, she's in the chat, but where is she?
I think Belinda, aren't you? I think she's in Australia.
She
I'm
is,
not
but
sure.
I don't know where she is in Aussie. So.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't like.
I mean,
you
it's
know,
a big
so-
country.
but
It's like the
hot.
US. It's fucking huge. So.
Like it's huge. I
Is
know.
she
It's
near
like
me?
you know.
Probably not.
Mhm.
If
There's
she
like
is,
what
we need to go for a
three
drink,
time
Belinda.
zones.
Yeah, 3 time zones. Well, at the moment, about 6.
Well,
Mm.
yeah, area-wise, Australia is about the same size as the continental US.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, where you kick our butt is when you add in Alaska. 'Cause Alaska
We
is
just have a lot
enormous.
more actual usable space.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know how people can survive out in that outback.
Yeah. In all honesty, where Belinda is in Australia and where I am in Australia is almost as far apart as we can possibly be. Because she's in far northern Queensland.
Probably like on-
and I'm
like
down
on-
south in Western Australia. You cannot.
she's
be
where?
much
So it's like
further
being
away.
on the other coast.
Oh,
It
not
would be
just the
here in
other
the
side.
States. It would be like
Yeah, it'd
3,000
be like comparing
miles.
California to what's top
Yeah.
east?
Maine.
Maine. Yeah.
Where is she
She's
located?
far
You got
north
stepped on.
Queensland because she just said that.
in the
So
rainforest.
right up in the
That
very
sounds
top,
so cool,
top
though.
tippy part of Australia, and I'm down in the part,
Yeah,
close
you're
to
in
the most
Perth-
southern
Perth
part I
area.
can get in
Mhm.
Australia. Well,
Yeah.
not the most southern, but in
Yeah.
the most southern part of near the most southern part of Western Australia. The eastern coast actually goes
Yeah.
lower, but
You know,
so
some
as
of us
far as
tried to.
distance, it's almost as far as you can possibly get in Australia from each other. It'd be an awful
Some of
lot
us actually
fun.
try to learn the geography of our friends' countries. So
Hmm.
I can visualize where Perth is and where Melbourne is and Sydney and Tasmania. And
Belinda has to
Oh.
put up with cassowaries. Damn, I'm sorry,
Yeah, but
Belinda.
she's in the rainforest. Yeah,
Yeah, she'd have cassowaries.
they're
around her.
huge.
They,
They are
and dangerous.
huge.
they're
Yeah.
very scary looking.
I've heard they're very aggressive.
I
That
saw a
they have
video
been
of a
known
guy.
to just run
oh,
out of the bush and attack people.
I saw a
Not quite
video
that
of a
bad,
guy
Purple,
who's
but
speeding one.
they are very territorial.
Hmm.
So you don't want to walk into a cassowary's territory.
Yeah, the question is knowing how they define their territory. I've seen a couple of videos of it. Saw one of a guy just walking down the beach, and this bird just ran right out of the hedge, and so apparently he got too close to the nest, I guess, but he had no idea
Nice.
anything was there.
Are they water birds? Do they hang out in the water or
No.
not?
No, they're gigantic. They got long, big legs, big
They're
body.
heavier
Kinda-
than emus, but they're not as
Well-
They're bigger than an emu, and they're kind of ostrichy looking, but not like I don't know. They're
Well, they
brown,
look-
right?
they look-
Jen? They're
They look like a
Brown.
shoe. Their head.
brownie blue.
They look like a cartoon character. It's amazing.
They're enormous cassowaries.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There was a
Belinda's right.
weird
They don't
trend.
really run around attacking people. They have been known to, and yeah, like you said, they'll fuck up your picnic because if you know that they're omnivores and they'll hunt for anything that's they're opportunistic feeders. So if you got food out, they'll want it, and it's not like shoo seagull shoo. It's like fuck, I better get out of here. This fucking big ass bird
Yeah,
wants
throw
my
the food and
food.
run the other way.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to argue with the cassowary.
There was a weird trend here, like in the early 2000s, that people with hobby farms thought it would be cool to keep emu. So yeah, there's probably about a dozen farms now in Minnesota that have emu.
Oh, I personally
We-
know 3 different farms that have emus.
Yeah, I
What-
We
know
had-
one right by Monticello.
One is
They're
near a
very
racetrack.
popular here. Yeah.
One is near a racetrack in Illinois, Blackhawk Farms Raceway. And there's been a couple times where the emus got out, and all of a sudden, here's emus running around the racetrack. They're in the race. We look at the rule book, how do
These
you
are
do
kinda
this?
cool. They're not.
Hey,
I mean, I wouldn't want to
the
get
coolest
kicked by
thing
one
I
or
ever
pecked
saw
by
at a
one,
racetrack.
but they're not aggressive emus. So
No, you just don't
Coolest
want.
thing I ever saw at a racetrack was right after they closed the Minnesota Renaissance Festival one year. They brought the elephants over to Canterbury Downs and had an elephant race.
elephant race. How? Okay. Well, I suppose that can work. You can ride elephants. Did they have
I
riders?
want to know
or-
how the bookkeepers figured odds on that one. That's all.
What did that have to do with the racetrack?
They had the race on the racetrack.
Canterbury Downs is a racetrack.
Oh, that's a horse racetrack.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, I agree, Belinda. If emus kick you, it really hurts. They've got one hell of a. I mean, it's like getting kicked by an ostrich. It's the same sort of thing. It's the same. It's the same kind of thing. I know the ostrich is a little bit bigger, but yeah, there's not much in it between emus and ostriches. So,
Well, I imagine they got pretty wicked claws.
oh yeah, great big long talons on their hind legs. So, but yeah, you wouldn't want to get kicked by one, but. Yeah,
No.
generally
Well,
speaking,
see-
emus are pretty passive. Even in the wild, they're fairly passive, which is good because you wouldn't want to get attacked by one. Not like, and same with kangaroos. Generally speaking, kangaroos are pretty passive unless you come across a male during mating season or one of the big reds and you walk into his territory, because then they can be aggressive because they protect their areas or they protect their groups and stuff like that. And it's worse if you're a guy than a girl because. Males, even if they're not of the same species, are seen as a threat by kangaroos.
Emus are pretty passive, which is why the Australian Army lost a war with them.
Yeah. That was purely a numbers thing. There was way more. There were way more.
Yeah, but
emus
for
than
the
they
amount
sent
of
soldiers.
ammunition expended and the amount of animals they killed, that was horrible.
Oh yeah, it was shocking the number that they killed. They still lost.
Are emus native to Australia? I
Yeah.
thought they were African.
No, emus are Australian.
Oh, I did not know that.
Always learn something on Jen's channel. It just may not always be what you expected to learn.
But ostriches are African, right?
Yeah, ostriches are African.
Okay.
Hey, Nikki.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh, other Nikki.
Oh, wait, there's another Nikki?
There's another Nikki.
There's too many Nickies.
Oh, I did not know we
Yeah,
had
There's too
more
many
than one
Nikki-
Nikki.
There's
Nikki
two
May.
Jens in this stream.
There's two Jens, there's two Nikis.
Well, Jens and
Yeah,
Dave's
Nick-
I've lost count of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that's
there's
pretty
like-
unique.
There's like 6 or 7 Nickies in this community.
Yeah. I haven't run into another Claire yet in the community, but
Oh, tree kangaroos
I-
are
And not a
awesome,
bear.
Belinda.
I know another Claire.
do you? Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about another Claire, but I know 3 other bears.
Yeah, there's a
lot of
Mr.
bears.
Bear and a
Lots
brown
of
bear.
bears. Lots
Yeah,
of
there's
bears.
lots of bears. Not bears with cat ears though. So that's cool.
Not many Lhasa Apsos either.
Yeah.
Billy
No.
Lhasa Apso.
Right.
Matt's
Nope.
one of those people who's got lots of people with his name, and most of the people with his name, aside from him, aren't all that bright.
At
Well,
one point,
that fills me with a lot of confidence.
Well, I know it's a compliment. It's like you're the bright one. Most of the other Matts we have to deal with not all that bright. I mean, if I'm going to name Matts off the top of my head who we have to deal with in the community, they're people like Numpty and Matt Powell. And
Ugh.
Yeah.
The problem being named Matt is people just walk all over you.
oh god,
Hey.
hey, a joke.
at one point at my shop back home, we had a lot of customers who would come and hang out. It was almost kind of this informal club situation, and we had like 6 Matts who were part of the core group, and so we had to give each one a unique name. Like guy who rode a motorcycle, his name was Matt Splat. There was a guy who was overweight who named himself Fat Matt. There was another guy who was a carpenter. He named himself Doormat.
Doormat.
It was kind of fun for a while.
I like punny humor. Doormat. That's cute.
Oh, it's cold here.
Is it?
Oh
How
yeah,
cold is
yeah. It's about a centimeter and a half of nipple. That's how cold it is.
Yeah. That could be painful shortly. Yeah. Mhm.
We
It's actually quite warm where I am today,
in nipple size.
but they.
Belinda, you're right.
What's
You're
the degree? What's the temperature in millimeters?
What's the
Or
temperature?
centimeters? Depending on who you're talking to. I won't actually ask for any specific measurements, though. I don't need that.
The problem, Matt, is we couldn't do temperature in that way because you'd have to label whether it was a female temperature measurement or a male temperature measurement, because as it gets colder, the millimeter measurement will get larger for females, but smaller for males.
It also depends on the drugs too. So
Yeah.
I can't use my nipples for thermometers. Since I started the hormones, they never go down. I'm serious. My nipples have been constantly erect for 3 months.
That must be painful.
you're not wrong.
No, it's not painful,
No,
but it's like, they said that the hormones would probably reduce my sex drive, and it's like, that doesn't work when every time you move and your shirt brushes against your stiff nipples, you're aroused again.
It's one of those puberty things that you deal with.
What you could do is take some ping pong balls, cut them in half, and tape on little covers.
Little covers just for the nipples.
Just
Draw little eyes on them and you can pretend to be Kermit.
Or stick on googly eyes.
Googly eyes.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hey, that would be a whole different experience when you jiggle your tits.
They really should have eyes because that's where the men are always looking anyway.
Oh no, that would be brilliant.
They should be able to stare back.
Yeah, with a goofy googly
staring at
eyes
my
stare
eyes.
back.
Look, my
That's
eyes are
brilliant.
down here, not up here.
No, that would be good.
They're talking about your tits in the chat, Claire. Your new tits.
They are my avatar. My avatar gets play, man. My avatar has a hell of a lot more fun than I do lately. I don't know.
Okay, why did Jeff randomly say Matt Dillahunty?
Because we were talking about Matt's, and you said
Matt
Matt.
Dillahunty.
Yeah.
Well, I think
the names.
I'm thinking maybe my statement still stands that we're dealing with the most intelligent of the Matts in here.
This is true. If you're comparing the two of them, I'd have
Yeah,
to stand
definitely.
behind that one. Yeah. I'll back you
I
up,
guess that
Matthew.
depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to the other Matt,
He might disagree. Yes.
Yeah, but would
But
we
when we
care?
anyway, I have a rule that whenever you put, I used to have a rule that whenever you put more than one Matt in the room, because I actually did my physics major with quite a few Matts. So to me, there was actually a lot of Matts who were more intelligent than myself. that I knew before. I met a lot of came across a lot of the other Matts on this side of the community.
Yeah.
And whenever you put Matts together, you don't increase linearly the Matt power, or not power. It's a squared thing. So if you put two Matts together, you end up with, squaring that power. If you put three of them, it's cubed, etc., etc. So that way, it doesn't take a lot of Matts before you
it's
have a lot of intelligence in the room. The problem is that some of them seem to be less. Their value must be less than 1 because it's making things worse.
Well, see, unfortunately, you apparently fall just barely below the threshold of one smart enough not to get on YouTube.
Probably. I know, because I've spent so long on the video I'm doing at the moment. I'm like, please do well. It's like, this one's 34 minutes. The other one was 25, 26. So it's like a good, nearly hour.
Go sub to Matt, people.
Odd.
I haven't added everyone's things in the description because I didn't know who was going to join me, but I will do that later.
Everyone here should know me by now because I'm always on your channel.
Well, there's some of them in the group. Oh, no, they would have seen you on Claire's channel anyway, but yeah, go
That's
watch
right.
Matt's, go watch Matt's content and stuff.
It is a great video that he just did. I have to say, it was beautifully done, Matthew. It really was.
Stuff.
No, which one was this that I missed?
Matt's
the aliens one.
On the aliens,
Oh, okay, yeah, I saw that one. I wanted to go look at that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you've got me wondering, did YouTube unsubscribe me to another channel? Because I don't remember ever seeing that you had put out a new video.
It could be what YouTube seems to do for me. Well, it's done it for everyone else, but I think in my case, because my subs don't change very much, it's just a slow, steady increase generally, and very slow. But it may have taken off the notification bell.
Oh yeah.
So you might still be subbed, but it won't give you the notification, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not talking about the notification. I'm just talking about seeing it in my subscription feed.
Oh.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't like showing my videos.
It did.
I don't know. I got a notification. I got an email when you uploaded. So I guess it depends on, and it puts it in I get notifications, and I'm kind of tiny too, but I guess it depends on the algorithm. Like if people go to your channel and stuff, and if they're watching your stuff, I guess it would put it there more often,
Matt, did you get the DM tweet I sent out about information about your shows and times for the guide I'm putting together?
I can't remember. It doesn't ring a bell, but I've been sent a lot recently, so maybe it's got buried. So sorry for that. Also, my Google Chrome has frozen, so it looks like I can still hear everybody, but I can't interact.
We can hear
So if I drop out soon, that'll be why, because I do also need to head off in a minute or two.
To the Bobby.
Yeah, I think I'm approaching about 36 channels that YouTube has unsubscribed me from in the last 2 years, and those are only the ones I've become aware of. That there have to be others that I just haven't noticed yet because nobody's brought it up.
Oh, there goes Matthew.
There goes Matt.
Oof.
Bye, Matt. Yeah, see you later. But, I noticed that with my channel, right before Mayhem, I'll have one number, and then right after, I'll be down like 5. And then it'll take all week. There are those 5 to come back, or 5 others, and then the same thing happens like every week.
And then you'll have weird weeks where you'll get a whole glut of new subs, and then it goes dead for a while.
Yeah. For a couple of weeks ago, that's where it was. It was like climbing like nicely. I got excited, But they said we're going to get our community tabs anyway if you have over 500 subs. That we don't have to wait for 1,000 anymore. So I got excited
that's
about
nice.
that. Because that's all I wanted was my community tab, so I could put my schedule up and stuff.
Well, all I need then is to get up to 500 subs.
It's slow going. It's been a while.
Well, I got stuck at 460 for like 8 months, and now I'm up to 480, but I just can't quite get there.
So people, if you're not subbed to Purple, go sub to Purple. You put your link in the chat, Purple.
Yeah, I would really appreciate if people could throw that around on Twitter or something and just get me 20 more subs. I would really appreciate it.
That'd be cool. I'll do that when we get off of here before I go to bed.
I'm going to respond to Nikki's comment about she envies actual titty makers too much of a perfectionist. I mean, the people who do breast implants and things like that, they don't have to be perfectionists. Natural tits are not the same size, and they don't look the same. If in fact, if you were too much of a perfectionist, your tits stop looking natural.
Right.
Because
If-
there's got to be that
If
difference.
if I'm able to get the implants I want them to even it out. I'm sick of having one bigger than the other. Like I just don't like it.
Well, but see, that's normal.
But
That's
it's-
part of how
Yeah.
you tell natural
Yeah,
ones.
I know, but it's not. It first of all varies. You know, each woman who has a different size on one than the other.
Yeah.
The difference ratio is different, and
Your
some
ratio
women
can't
don't
be as
have.
bad as mine is,
Lots-
Jenny.
Lots of
to be
women don't have
perfectly
an
honest.
unequalness. And
Although
I
it
just don't
is
want
very common for cis women to have one breast up to a full cup size larger than the other.
Yeah, but
It's
a lot don't, and I don't want to have one that way. So, and that's perfectly okay if I feel that way.
You know,
So,
at this point, I will
Mhm.
settle for anything that at least I have some visible cleavage.
oh God, I saw my family for the first time in several years.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago when I went down to get this car, and I've been talking with my brothers on messages and emails and stuff like this, and explained to them how I've kind of retransitioned my life and gave up all my androdite greasy clothes and T-shirts as my only wardrobe, and that I'm looking presentable and very much office-like or teacher-like or mom-like nowadays. And I caught each one of them like half a dozen times each, staring at my tits. It's really creepy to have your own brothers doing this.
Yeah,
Do
it
you
would
tell
be
them my
pretty
eyes
creepy
are up
from
here? My
family
eyes are up
members.
here, boys.
No, I just let them. I don't. They're
Yeah.
see, they're embarrassed enough for
Enjoy.
me that I'm and they're embarrassed enough to just see me in a dress. It's still upsetting to them. So I don't want to make it too much worse. A little bit worse, but not too much. I'm kind of having fun watching them crawl around. They're both such complete emotional sensitivity dolts that they need some shaking up, and it's so if they're not going to go to a pride picnic, I'm going to take it to them. It's that kind of thing.
Okay, I've just realised what Felix was saying in the chat.
I think I figured it out.
I figured it out. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay, Felix. Whatever floats your boat.
Well, yeah, whatever. Have at it. Just clean up your own damn mess. Don't be
Well,
looking
I
over
guess
here.
that's the idea of using the wool.
I guess so.
Although, to
Okay.
be honest, wool would be so scratchy.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Surely you'd be better off with nylon there, Felix, or satin.
I'll be right back.
The discussions got weird.
When doesn't it?
Yeah,
You
that's
started
true.
out with tits hanging out, and you say it got weird.
Yeah,
I
right?
mean, in all honesty, the whole idea of the tits hanging out, I think was the fact, well, hey, I made this beautiful background. Why don't I use it as a thumbnail? And it works.
Oh,
I think it
yeah.
works.
Nikki and I are going back and forth about big breast problems here.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and
Nikki should hop
I mean,
in.
there are good things.
Would
There
you-
are
would you
very
like
good
a
things,
link?
but
Would you
still.
like a link, Nikki?
We'll have two Nickies on here.
Yeah, we have two Nickies and
Yeah.
two Jennies.
well, I do understand the big breast issues. I've known enough women. My fiance, it was an
Hey,
issue.
native idiot.
Actually, one of my cousins had to have hers reduced because it was destroying her back.
Oh yeah, it can be terrible on your back. It's really hard. Like summer is horrible. It's
Yeah.
just horrible. The sweating, and you can't really run around braless very often without like major repercussions. Like
Hit
you
yourself
know,
in the face.
and then And as I said to Nikki, I would just like once to be able to button a shirt without gapping and not have to worry about all that stuff. Like it's like
Yeah.
buying things like even if I just wear a t-shirt, if it doesn't fit properly, I look obscene. It looks like I'm trying to be some kind of damn
yeah,
sex
and-
pot, like all the damn time.
Uh-huh.
And mhm.
And it's worse if you're significantly asymmetric with your tits. You cannot wear anything
I'm
that's
not- I'm-
tight because it's
Yeah.
visual. And
Yeah.
so you've got to, being large-breasted is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I'm very top heavy. I'm kind of small everywhere else, so
Well, at least I've got the ballast.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
would
get
have
that.
liked to been a little hippier and a little like taller. It would have gone better, but no, I lead with
How
my
tall are you?
tits everywhere
How tall
I
are you,
go.
Claire?
That's
Are
it.
you a shorty, are you, Claire?
I am a shorty. Yeah,
Oh
I'm
my
a shorty.
god, I got the perfect
Yeah.
image of Claire now.
Do you? I'm just like all tits, Nikki. That's it. I'm just tits. Just it's tits and hair, I'd say, because I do have.
So you're all top heavy.
Yeah. I am definitely top heavy that way.
There is
Well,
one really good thing about having big tits, though, is that you can actually get your own nipple in your mouth.
you guys are just filling me with ideas today between,
I
Godless and now
demonstrate,
you with,
but
I don't know.
I would
Wait.
demonstrate, but I think it might get the stream taken down.
I want to know how Claire got to this age and hasn't attempted that.
Right?
I just a lot of partners who did it for me. That's all I can tell you. I didn't have to yet. Just not yet. I'm going to think about it now.
I mean,
If
hell,
I cover the nipple,
I-
which is the bit they'll get upset about.
I don't know.
I mean, hell, I'm coming up in a couple months on my 1-year
Mm.
milestone here, but I've
And
already
you've
tried
already
that,
put your
so
nip and you
I've
put
already
your
done
nip
that.
on. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little more set back than, like I said, I may be all out there with the way I talk, but I really don't have that. Like I've never been to a strip club. I don't watch a lot of like
Native Atheist just asked me to prove it.
Oh,
I think I did, didn't I? I mean, I was covering it as much as I could, but
That would have to be,
hang on.
a
I've
a
definitely got a
Patreon
handful
only
of my
stream
tits,
or
right?
something.
Ooh,
I don't think I could. I don't think I could get my
There you go.
avatar to do that.
I think I just proved it. That proves it, doesn't it? Without showing too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. It's probably all right. She proved it. She can reach. There
Yeah,
you go.
I understand it. I don't have the illusions of wanting monstrous ones. I don't want to go to the double Ds. I'll be quite happy to stop with the C cup.
See,
Oh.
me and Purple are on the same wavelength with that.
Well, that's actually a nice size, though. I would like to go down to that. That would be perfect for me. I think.
Oh, Belinda, you could bring on the milk and breastfeed yourself. Reduce resources, very eco-friendly, super vegan.
Yeah, I get it. Like you know where all your food sources came from. You'd like, yeah, it would be great. No guessing.
Oh yeah, you've been talking about boobs, so stool had to show up.
Yeah,
Mm.
Well, of course, still had to
I did
show up
post
when
it in
Korean
Stall's
talked about.
chat, I think. So, I mean, kind of hang out with your tits out. Still was always going to show up. Still can have a link if Stall wants.
Yeah.
You can hop in here and talk about titties. Are you able to hop in streams at the moment, Stall?
I hear you, Nikki. I get insomnia all the time. But I would.
That's
I'm
it.
actually more
That's it.
concerned.
That's it. I am switching my name to Sinewave, which is my in-game character, because
Sorry,
there is
Nikki.
entirely goddamn
I already have to say Nikki May or Nikki Daly. I'll say the second part that way.
No,
Yeah.
it's not just like when I'm on
Still
Chess's
can't
channel
play.
or some other ones, and one of the other
Uh-huh.
Nikki shows up. It's like, oh, Nikki and Chess. That's not me.
No, it's not. It's yeah.
I have to say, Stall, you don't have to play with yours. You can play with mine.
Don't encourage him now.
You can't encourage Stall. He's already there.
Mm.
True, very true.
I'm actually more concerned with the direction of mine because it's like they're already pointing out to the sides and there's not much there.
Okay, there is a thing with trans people when they transition that your Tanner stages don't necessarily develop in the same way that it would for a cis person, especially if you've transitioned a bit older. That can change and fill out again. Sometimes it doesn't, and you may actually, to get decent looking breasts, may end up having to have implants.
Mm-hmm.
It is an unfortunate thing of transitioning later. It is one of those issues.
Yeah,
Fortunately, because I already started growing mine as a teenager, I never had that problem.
Yeah, unfortunately, if it comes to surgeries, I probably won't get the insurance
That's
to cover all that shit, so.
No, that sucks.
Your Medicaid in Minnesota covers it. Stool. I'm sorry.
Oh, Matt's got his new logo. Cool.
Well, that's actually one that
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Is that the one that
It's planetary.
what's his name did for you? Can't remember his name. Got mental blank.
Well, if we're talking about it, you should make it bigger for everyone to see it better.
Perps just called me a filthy pervert in Twitter.
Did she?
Not Perps.
Oh,
Not
okay.
Perps, Stool.
Why are your satellites on a polar orbit?
Sorry, Perps. Wasn't you at all.
I was going to say I didn't know such thing.
No, you did it. It was Stool. It was because you just spoke and my brain went, oh, purple. I interrupted. I'm sorry.
Although I could, because, I'm a filthy pervert, but that's...
I know.
Is there
We've
now-
had some good discussions about bondage.
Wait a minute. Who on this panel isn't a pervert?
Me.
No, I'm a pervert.
I'm a pervert.
Yeah. I'm not a filthy
maybe we shouldn't be
pervert, but I'm a
saying this
pervert.
because some turf at some point is going to come along and clip this guy. See, I told you they were all perverts.
Well,
You should
I'm
own
a
your
pervert in the
sexuality,
nicest
though.
sense of the word.
That's what I mean. People
in the
should-
nicest sense.
I don't get their problems. People should own their sexualities. I mean,
Yep.
Anything that's not plain vanilla would have at some time been called perverted. And
Just about everything we do these days would have been called
Yeah.
perverted, right?
I mean, leaving aside the fact that I'm intersex and trans and that the fact that I'm bisexual would be considered perverted. So, where do you... It's just
can I just
ridiculous.
check people can hear me now?
We can hear you, Matt.
Yep, we can hear
We
you,
can
Matt.
hear you, Matt.
Okay, good. Note to self: don't minimize the thing on my phone because I'm operating off of that.
Okay.
Oh, we like your new avatar, your new icon there. Oh.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Ted made that
Yeah,
one
Ted,
for
that's
me
right.
just out of the blue, so I thought I'd use it since I'm on my phone.
How come your
You did a nice job.
satellites are in polar orbits?
Hmm?
They don't need to be.
Speaking of Ted, driving through downtown today, there was a thing at the local theater, which isn't really a theater anymore because it's too small, but there was a thing on the marquee that they're going to be doing a TED Talk later this month.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
Hmm.
Are you going to go?
Interesting.
I don't
Depending
know.
on
I'll
what it
have
is.
to look. I'll have to check into it online and see what the tickets cost and that. and what
in the Twins
subject
or
is.
your city?
No, here in St. Cloud.
Wow.
So yeah, it kind of surprised me because we're not a big city here.
Yeah.
And they didn't mention topic.
No, it didn't say the topic. It just said TED Talk and the date.
Cool. Have to find out what it is.
Yeah, I'll have to find out what the topic is if it's something interesting.
Because some of them are really fascinating. Others are not.
Yeah.
Do a naked TED talk.
Mm.
I could do that.
Don't know if they let you back, but It would be
definitely
interesting and it
not.
would get plenty of views.
It might not actually. I'm sure the comment section might not be favourable.
Yeah, post it on OnlyFans. You'll make some money on it.
Yeah, somebody keeps telling me that I need to post the first part of my video that got taken down onto OnlyFans. Just the first bit. If I was going to make
Alright,
an
I gotta
OnlyFans,
step and
I'd
drink.
make something better than that.
I know there's some other sites now that have kind of taken it from them, but I don't remember which ones. Yeah, but yeah, OnlyFans pretty quickly backed down from the thing of no sexually explicit stuff because somehow before the announcement they didn't realize this was their main audience.
Oh yeah,
It was probably they were never going to do it, and it was just because they wanted to show some investors that they're interested. But it was like, oh, but look, we thought about it for you, but it's not going to work. See, look how serious we were.
Well, my understanding of it was that some Christian groups had like been pressuring the credit card companies, you know, to like not allow OnlyFans to accept their credit cards.
wow.
We need to defend our entire community against these Christian groups. Most of these Christian groups like focus on family as a typical and primary irritant. They're this very small group of people, not even into the hundreds for membership, and they have learned the tactics of mass emailing and I don't know what you'd call it, ghost emailing, to make it seem like they can say that we have we're a million people strong, and write the FCC or whoever and get things changed or get people scared of them when they're so small they could fit in a classroom.
Yeah, like the famous Million Moms group.
It
turned out only had like 160 members. And there were even questions about how many of those were the same person using multiple emails.
Oh, wow. Well, they did
so
the same.
They may have only had like 120 members.
This is exactly what the turfs in UK are doing.
Yes, that's where I was going, Jenny, because there was an analysis done of the responses and how they figure out, and on Twitter and on other social media of how many there actually were, and in a way to rule out the sock accounts and things like that. And they figured out there's probably a total of about 3,000 turfs in total between the US and the UK. That's a lot of noise coming from a very small number of people. Unfortunately, the number of bigots is an awful lot bigger than that, which is unfortunate. But
I wonder if the southern Southern Poverty Law Center is keeping track of things like that, of numbers of members. They of course track the hate groups themselves, but I don't know if they get down into membership and stuff like that of them. I think I'll get a hold of them and ask.
Most of the hate groups are all, even though they got different names, they're all exactly the same people, though. The people who hate one group of people are generally the same people who go and hate other people. They're usually middle-class white people who just hate on everybody. And I'm not saying all middle-class white people hate on people, but it seems to be that. You're somebody who's got a slightly more disposable income, and you think you're better than everyone else.
And disposable time, too.
And disposable time, yeah. So they're bored, basically. So...
And I am absolutely convinced the more turf insistent people are, the more they commit to being turf, the more they focus their behavior on being a turf and get out and attack on a consistent basis. That these people are right on the edge of their own gender identity crisis. And they're fighting as a way to keep themselves on one side of the fence.
Well, especially if they had a very religious upbringing. You know, that it's something that they can't really admit to even to themselves.
So people who self-hate are the worst people to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Precisely.
Speaking of which, I still have to tell my oldest brother.
And I would just like to see. I would
Just
like
throw
to
that
see.
in there.
Does your brother have a lot of self-hate there?
I would like to see that to be a message that our whole community begins to understand and talk about online and confront these people with, and as a way to just punch back. They're busy punching down at us. It's time for us to punch up at them and hit them hard. And if they want to say, well, no, that's a lie, you're lying about me. Well, hey, babe, what are you doing about us? You're lying about us constantly. You're
No
going to get
shit.
back what you put out. So fuck you. I don't give a fuck anymore.
And it's amazing where all the funding for all these hate groups tends to come from exactly the same places, like the Heritage Foundation and places like that. So basically, it's fundamentalist Christian organizations funding hate groups that they can then pretend that they're not actually part of. If those levels of hates are a little bit too extreme for them. I mean, that's not always the case. Some fundy religious groups don't care if they're directly tied to hate either. But yeah, there's that. Some of them try that separation thing. So you'll even get like the Catholic Church donating to some of these organizations and then pretending, no, we don't hate you.
Yeah,
We
they're
hate the
standing
action
up,
and not the person.
they're standing up there. They're standing up there questioning and condemning our morality when they're bending their morality way beyond any tenets of Christianity to do what they think is right. And it's like, you can't lie. Well, it's like the meme I saw going around for a while. You can't say you love me and then vote for somebody to be in office who hates me.
I always love the thing when the hate people come up with their statements like, oh, it's the trans agenda or the gay agenda or it's the lesbian agenda. And I'm going,
What fucking agenda?
Yeah, what's this agenda you're talking about? I honestly think the only reason why you think there's an agenda on the other side is because you have an agenda.
Well, there is an agenda. It's free pantyhose and hand lotion.
It's human rights. That's all
Not even
any of
gonna go
these
there.
things have been about.
Yeah.
When you talk about gay
I
rights,
thought the agenda was just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
That's what my
human
agenda
rights
is.
allow for the same rights for people. Stop the discrimination that happens for people that are in any of these groups. I mean, if you go back to the 50s or 60s, if people were talking, it's the black agenda.
Yep. Well, and
It's
that's
exactly
what pisses
the same
me off,
bigotry.
okay, I've been at this since the 80s, well, actually the 70s even, that went through it in the 60s for blacks, in the 70s for women, in the 80s for gays, and it's like, how come every 10, 15 years we have to fight the same battle and it's just pasted the name of a different group?
Yeah, it's cut and
Why
paste.
can't we simply get the idea of just treat everyone the same?
I mean,
Because
it's
people
especially
are
obvious.
assholes.
It's especially obvious when they start talking about trans in toilets now, because you used to talk about gays in toilets, and before then it was segregation of toiletry facilities for people who are coloured.
Yep.
It's exactly the same hate.
That they had to have
same
separate
way.
toilets and drinking fountains for people with darker skin.
We got
What bothers me most about it. What bothers me most about it, and I say this as someone who has been involved in this since the very earliest days of our modern history, is there was a period in the 70s, 60s, and 70s where it was very dangerous to be gay. It was very dangerous to be trans. The police felt perfectly comfortable beating the fuck out of you, raiding your bars and arresting you and just making your life a living hell. Employers, firing you and blacklisting you and all kinds of stuff. But then in the 70s, it began to get better, and that the people just started to leave us alone, and there was less importance for us as we transitioned to live a stealth existence. And it continued into the 80s, and it just steadily got better and better. And the gay population, gay and lesbian population, definitely were in the forefront of getting that acceptance and stuff, mostly because they were out there more politically and in media wise, and so they got the the rights and the openness and stuff sooner than we did. We haven't got it all yet. Um, but everything was going swimmingly. We were able to live our lives, and we were left alone, and nobody was attacked in bathrooms, and nobody was corrupting children in the classroom or anything like that. And then in 2015, when the marriage rights decision went down, then everything turned against the transgender people, and that's when it got horrible. It was so absolutely clear. It honestly was much better before, and since this happened, and since transgender people have been out more, now it has gotten bad. Okay,
The
as long as
focus
we were
only
in
shifted to
shadows,
trans people because those hate groups and conservative groups lost their fight against gays and
right? They
lesbians.
needed a new whip. They needed a new whipping
target,
boy.
and that was part of
Yep.
their plan.
Yeah.
In their manifesto about this, they said if we lose this battle, we're going to move on backwards to the next battlefront, which we'll win and then come back.
Precisely.
So you don't
And-
actually
and-
care about this. What you care about is your overall war against anyone LGBT. And then back from once they win that, it's back on removing rights from women, and because it's all very misogynistic. The entire thing is completely misogynistic.
Absolutely.
the whole purpose of it is to get votes, is to stay in power and
Any
to hold
woman
on.
who's not afraid of what's happening now with the targeting of trans people should be. Because if the Conservatives win their fight here, they will move it back, and then eventually you will have an erosion of women's rights.
People need to understand that these are just a sign and symptom of totalitarianism and authoritarian governments to control the lives of all of its citizens, and that just because it's not right coming after cis het people for this or that or something now, there is no reason it can't go back to having bedroom laws like it had in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. That if they have an authoritarian government, they can do anything they want.
Look at
And
the
if they
hate
have
that
the
Trump
right-
installed during his single term. You start at a point that sounds reasonable to people. People follow you. Then you get less reasonable, but they still follow you because people are fucking sheep. And that's the point. If you can fight on something that you can kind of maybe push it across as reasonable, which is why the big talking points really are about what happens in changing rooms, not toilets, changing rooms, or what happens in women's sport. Because they're the talking points that the general public don't actually understand what's being discussed, and they can be panicked.
My point is that's just what's being used right now. Just like we are the whipping boy from when the gays were the whipping boy. Now we are, but as we allow this bent towards conservatism go, and we start to elect people who are interested and appreciative of authoritarian governments, and that is what the right wing is right now. That we stand a very strong likelihood of losing our democracy.
Yeah.
That this, just because it's written in the Constitution doesn't mean it's permanent, and this is very easily slipping down the slope of authoritarian and totalitarian rule much faster than people are paying attention. That's what getting in all the conservative judges was about. That is what's getting all the conservative people on school boards is about. Is that they can now do things like they've done in Texas because they went from the bottom up, restructuring the government so that it's all conservative, even though the majority of people are not conservative.
Well,
So we have to pay attention and realize that this fight is just beginning, and we're going to lose it. We need to pay attention to the Neil Mahler poem that was written. It is not passé. People think it's so passé now, but first they came for them, and I wasn't them, so I didn't worry about it. And it is so true. You better start worrying about it because it is you. You are next.
Here's the
Right.
thing I want to interject in on this too. Jen, I agree with a lot of what you just said. A lot of it, because look what happened with Trump. We damn near fucking got that.
Yeah, yeah. We certainly did. And if he wins again in 2024, we
He
are
won't.
fucked
Well,
because now he doesn't have to worry about a second term. He can do any goddamn thing he wants, and
the
he
part
won't.
that I find really troubling is that with all the shit that Trump did, no one is being held accountable. They're being
Mhm.
told that it's okay, there won't be any consequences.
Mhm.
And that's because of all the background structure that the Republicans and conservatives have been building for the last 30 years since Ronald Reagan. Is with the judges and the administrators who are the deep state. What they refer to as deep state are the people who are hired to work at the EPA, who are hired to work at the FDA or whatever, who are the actual administrators. If they stack those offices with hired people who are conservative, man, they've got it all. They've got all the power.
The worst part about
And
it
that's
is too,
something.
as the conservative parties have moved more conservative, the left wing of politics has actually moved more centrist. So it's more tolerant of this horrible crap that's happening
Yeah,
from the right, and
yeah.
that there needs to be a correction there. The left wing parties need to take back their left wing position.
The other observation that Americans need to make is that this is happening around the entire civilized Western world. All of Europe has its same issue with conservatism and authoritarianism as we have here, and all these authoritarians and totalitarian bent people are communicating with each other. Okay, the people in France talk to the people in the United States, who talk to the people in Germany, who talk to the people in UK. If you notice, we introduce something and then it suddenly shows up in UK, and then it shows up in Germany, and then it shows
It's
up in
happening
Italy.
here, even in
Okay.
Australia. I mean, I talk about how much better we are than you guys.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
our current prime minister, and I can't remember what it's called, but Matt will probably be able to remind me. There was a proposal in place to have a commission that looks into corruption in government. And basically, our prime minister stood up and said, "Oh, we can't do that because it might be too embarrassing for some politicians."
Who the fuck cares?
You what? The whole point of it is
Right?
to expose their corruption, but you can't expose their corruption because it might be embarrassing.
Well,
Fuck
no,
off.
yeah,
Yeah, but
that's what I'm
Jen, do you
saying.
forget how many of our premiers?
That's what I'm saying is, who the fuck cares if it's embarrassing for them? Fuck them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're
If
the
you're
ones that put us
corrupt,
in
you
this
deserve
fucking
to be dragged out
organization.
in public and shown that you're corrupt. Yes, I realize a lot of our
Hey,
premiers and our federal politicians would be pulled out in the open with their corruption because it's definitely there. I think our prime minister
I'm
would.
not. Yeah, I'm not making a political statement. I'm just going to point out how many of our premiers recently in my state have disappeared. Well, they've basically resigned because of corruption allegations. I think it's I forget how many now. Most of them.
You've been
In
through
the
a
last
few.
5-6 years.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
But
and we've just gone through another one. Now we've got a conservative Christian who's taken over, who seems to be speeding up the rollout of the going back to normal out of lockdown. And because I get news feeds on YouTube, it shows all the news clips from Australia. Most of the news sites, the major channels, are all like showing a fairly balanced kind of, or a bit of worry about, look, we're all going back, it's great, but maybe it's too fast. Balanced, except Sky. I don't see Fox on it, but Sky, which is basically our Fox, is just like everybody's attacking his Christian background. I'm like, I haven't heard that once. I don't know. It's just the balance of how it was presented. But
I'm going to respond to something Belinda's
got to be
typed
careful
in the chat about Indigenous Australians about not having equal constitutional rights. It's actually worse than that in our constitution. The Australian Constitution is a weird beast anyway because it doesn't really talk about human rights at all. It's mostly about it's mostly about finances and how it's split between states and the government, and how government what the government's allowed to do as far as taxes and things like that. So our constitution is kind of weird, but it does mostly state that you need to have a Euro ethnicity background to have full rights within Australia. So if you're an Indigenous Australian, bad luck. If you're from Asia or somewhere like that, bad luck. Because technically you don't have full rights under our constitution. That's not exactly the case, because our governments in the past have signed to various international accords on human rights and stuff like that, and they will stand in a court of law in Australia. But governments can overwrite those. They're not like a constitution. You can overwrite that. So there is no Bill of Rights in Australia. Our government can effectively remove your rights whenever it damn well feels like it. That's both a good and a bad thing, because at times it has been handy, like with gun control and things like that. It's not a problem doing it here because we don't have to fight a constitutional amendment.
Jen.
But
Jen.
for other things, it's a problem.
Give me a second.
Hold on, Jen. Have you seen the I don't know what the name of the content creator is, but she was, this is a message from your government, and then just start to making these really bad parody PSAs of or really good parody PSAs of the Australian government.
No.
I'll have to find it and share it to you, but it's hilarious.
Well, I can barely keep my eyes open. This has been really great conversation, but I have to go to bed.
I think we're coming up on an
I've
hour and a
been up since
half,
6:30.
and people in the US are probably getting super
But this
tired
is-
at the moment.
No,
so-
but this has been awesome. I'm just going to bounce.
I think we
it
can
was
continue
really
some
great.
of this tomorrow on Mayhem, or later today on Mayhem for you, Claire. So
Yeah,
it'd be-
absolutely.
Claire Bear, if you ever want me on your show to wreck it, just let me know. I can come and destroy
Just
it.
okay.
You need an avatar though, Jenny, because Claire's show is all
Yeah.
avatar.
Yeah, it's no faces, no
No
boob.
faces.
Well,
Preferably
got
naked
my-
real
avatars,
skin.
but it's not a requirement.
yeah.
You have an
But
avatar, though,
have
so
a
you're
great
fine.
have a great rest of the day and the rest of the evening, everyone. But I'm gonna need to bounce for now.
All right.
I'm
Thanks,
gonna
Claire,
hit
for
my
joining
face
us.
on the laptop. Oh yes, anytime,
Claire.
Jen. Right.
See you,
It was
Claire.
good to see you all. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I have the gamer endurance, so this is not.
All right. Well, we might wrap up anyway because we got for an hour and a half nearly. So, and I've had a lot of fun with this. I will do another one of these at another Tits Out stream at sometime soon. Thanks for joining me, Jenny, especially getting naked with me. That was awesome. Love ya. Obviously, thanks to Claire for being here. Thank you, Purple, for joining us. Thank you, Nikki. And thank you, Matt, with all your cooking for your family, for hanging around.
You're running away so soon.
Sorry?
You're running away so soon. What am I going to do with the next hour and a half before I can go to
start
bed?
another stream. No, I was just thinking winding up because I know I still have stuff to do today during the day before it gets too late. So I am going to wind up and get to and do the stuff I need to do. But I might make a semi-permanent thing of, because I think if I started about 1 o'clock most times, it'd be after Thingy finishes, what you guys normally do. What is that thing? Movie night.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the one I was talking about, Jen.
What?
Movie night, you mean, on Fridays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's normally...
In private chat, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, I haven't... Yeah, I'll look later. I can't see it at the moment. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I know.
All right.
Fine.
But thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us. This has been a bit of fun. We will be doing another one, and yeah, we will catch you all on the flip side.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Love you.